Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 21, Text 49. Aho vayam hi adya pavitra kirte
अयोवकं हि अतिकृत्य कीर्ते
Vayeva nathena mukundanathah
तवेव नाथेन मुकुन्दनाथा
Ya uttama shloka tamasya Vishnu
ये उत्तम श्लोक तमस्य विष्णु
Brahmanya devasya katham vyanakti
ब्रह्मणस्य देवस्य कथां व्यनक्ति.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The audience continued, Dear King Pṛthu, your reputation is the purest of all, for you are preaching the glories of the most glorified of all, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord of the Brahmanas. Since you are due to our great fortune, we have you as our master. We think that we are living directly under the agency of the Lord. The citizens declare that through being under the protection of Mahārāja Pṛthu, they were directly under the protection of the Supreme Personality of God. This understanding is the proper situation of social steadiness within this material world. Since it is stated in the Vedas that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the maintainer and leader of all living entities, the king or the executive head of the state government must be a representative of the Supreme Person. Then he can claim honor exactly like the Lord's. How a king or leader of society can become the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is also indicated in this verse by the statement that because Pṛthu Maharaj was preaching the supremacy and the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, he was therefore a proper representative of the Lord. To remain under the jurisdiction of or administration of such a king or leader is the perfect status for human society. The primary responsibility of such a king or leader is to protect the Brahminical culture and the cows and his state. So the citizens are glorifying Pṛthu Maharaj, saying that they are feeling they're directly being taken care of by the Supreme Lord. So Pṛthu Maharaj is taking such good care of them. Materially, spiritually, everything is making them so peaceful, keeping intact the Brahminical culture, protecting the cows. Natyadbudam idam natha
न अति अद्भुतम इदम नाथ
tavajivyano
तव आजीव्य अनुशासनम
Prajanurago Mahatam
प्रजा अनुरागो महाताम
Prakriti Karunatmanam.
प्रकृति करुणात्मनाम.
And dear Lord, it is your occupational duty to rule over your citizens. That is not a very wonderful task for a personality like you, who are so affectionate in seeing to the interests of the citizens, because you are full of mercy. That is the greatness of your character. A king's duty is to give protection to his citizens and levy taxes from them for his livelihood. Since the Vedic society is divided into four classes of men, the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras, the means of livelihood are also mentioned in the scriptures. The Brahmana should live by spreading knowledge and should therefore take contributions from their disciples, whereas a king should give protection to the citizens for their development to the highest standard of life, and he can therefore levy taxes from them, businessmen or mercantile men, because they produce foodstuffs for the whole of society. Sorry, I think I had gotten disconnected. Are you all able to hear me? All right?
Actually, there is some disturbance, but we can hear you. There is some disturbance.
There's some disturbance. Let me see. Hold on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your voice is breaking.
Let's see if in a moment it gets better also. The Shudras who cannot work as either Brahmana, Kshatriyas or Vaishyas should give service to the higher classes of society and be provided by them with a supply of the necessities of life. So the scriptures are very clear of how the Vedic society was structured, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. How was the Brahmanas getting their income?
By doing the yagyas.
Yes, by doing yajnas.
And they also gave the knowledge. They also gave the knowledge, and they passed the knowledge to the kings. They suggested the kings what to do, what the right rules to follow.
Yes. So also then the Brahmanas, they wouldn't charge a fee for it. They would, whatever donation people would give them, they would be happy with that. They wouldn't charge. Now, how would the king get his income? The leaders or the protectors of society.
By getting the taxes from the citizens, is it?
Yeah. Yes, but
By
what
giving them
service would they
protection and
provide?
in return
Yeah,
charging them. They would protect them, and they would.
That's right. That's the point. They had to give the protection. And what about the businessmen or the traders?
The businessman would get by supplying the grains and everything, exporting, importing the grains.
That's right.
And they could save some for themselves, like some benefit they could save for themselves from that.
Yeah, that's right. They would trade not only in grains, but also, other commodities like traders, trading, business, farming, banking. All this was for the Vaishyas and the Shudras. What about them?
Like they could serve the other three classes, and in return they would
be taken care of.
Yeah, in return they would be taken care of.
So the symptom of a qualified king or political leader is mentioned herein. He must be very merciful and compassionate to the people and see to the prime interest, which is to become elevated devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Great souls are naturally inclined to do good to others, and a Vaishnava especially is the most compassionate and merciful personality in society. Therefore, we offer our respects to a Vaishnava leader as follows. So what is Prabhupada saying? What was the main duty of the king?
He should be very merciful and caring and merciful, and he should be able to take care of all the people around, like all the citizens. And he should be a devotee of the Lord, above all. He should be a devotee of the Lord.
Yes, and he should make sure the others are becoming devotees of the Lord.
Okay.
Yes. So he has to see to the citizens' prime interest, and because he himself is a devotee, then he's making sure that others also becoming devotees. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhuva eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Only a Vaishnav leader can fulfill all the desires of the people, Vanchakalpataru, and he's compassionate. because he is the contributor of the greatest benefit to human society. So, Vaishnav, this is the prayer offered to the Vaishnavas. Vanchakalpataru. And the Vaishnavas can fulfill all our desires. Ispatita Pavana, the deliverer of all fallen souls, because if the king or the head of the government follows in the footsteps of the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, who are naturally leaders in missionary work, the Vaishyas will also follow in the footsteps of the Vaishnavas and Brahmanas, and the Shudras will give them service. Thus, the entire society becomes a perfect human institution for combined progress to the highest perfection of life. So it was very structured before. Krishna had made it in a very good structure. But in Kali Yuga, we don't have this Vedic society. But the idea is that even if some section of society can become devotees and then can spread the Krishna consciousness to everyone, for everyone's benefit. Adhyanastamasa paras.
Adhyanastamasa para.
Tvayopasadita prabho.
Tvayo upasadita prabhu.
Brahmyatam nashta drishtinam.
Brahmyatam nashta drishtinam.
Karma birdeva samjnite.
Karma abhideva samchite.
The citizens continued, today you have opened our eyes and revealed how to cross to the other side of the ocean of darkness. By our past deeds and by the arrangement of superior authority, we are entangled in a network of fruitive activities and have lost sight of the destination of life. Thus, we have been wandering within the universe. In this verse, the words Karmabir Deva Samjnite are very significant. Due to the quality of our actions, we come to the association of the modes of material nature, and by superior arrangement, we are given a chance to enjoy the fruitive results of such activities in different types of bodies. So, based on our karma, we are getting this different bodies of 8,400,000 species of life under the modes of material nature. In this way, having lost sight of their destination in life, all living entities are wandering in different species throughout the universe, sometimes getting birth in a lower species and sometimes existence in higher planetary systems. Thus, we are all wandering since time immemorial. So how are we getting this 8 million? How are we getting these different types of bodies?
By our karmas.
Yeah.
Like the karmas and the desires. Yeah.
Yeah. And these bodies are under the control of the...
Three modes of nature.
Yes. That's right. Thank you. And like this, we are wandering. Yeah. Sometimes we are in bodies of demigods, sometimes in bodies of animals. It is by the grace of the spiritual master and the Supreme Personality of Godhead that we get the clue of devotional life. And thus progressive success in our life begins. Here, this is admitted by the citizens of King Pṛthu. In full consciousness, they admit the benefit they have derived from the activities of Mahārāja Pṛthu. So the citizens are being, they have experienced this, that they are getting their all auspiciousness because of Pṛthu Mahārāja. They're doing good. They're beginning their spiritual life. They can do their spiritual life so nicely under the leadership of Pṛthu Mahārāja. Lord Chaitanya says, Brahmata Bhumite Kon Bhagyavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bija. That we are wandering, like vagabonds wandering. Like that, we are wandering sometimes in this body, sometimes in that body. by Guru Krishna Prasadipaya Bhakti Lata Bij, by the grace of Guru and Krishna, we can get this Bhakti Lata Bij. And we can put an end to our wandering. Go back home, back to Godhead. Namo Vivrida Satvaya.
Namo Vivrida Satvaya.
Purushaya Mahiyase.
Purushaya Mahiyase.
Yo Brahma Shatram Avishya.
Yo Brahma Shatram Avishya.
Idam Swatejasa.
Vibrati Idam Swatejasa.
Dear Lord, you are situated in your pure existential position of goodness. Therefore, you are the perfect representative of the Supreme Lord. You're glorified by your own prowess, and thus you're maintaining the entire world by introducing Brahminical culture and protecting everyone in your line of duty as a Kshatriya. Without the spread of Brahminical culture and without proper protection from the government, no social standard can be maintained properly. So this is what is lacking. Brahminical culture, our society is not God conscious now, is not based in Brahminical values, and that's the reason it is the way it is currently. This is admitted in this verse by the citizens of Mahārāja Pṛthu, who could maintain the wonderful situation of his government due to his position in pure goodness. So this pure goodness means this is the liberated platform, not the material mode of goodness. Beyond that, the word Vivrida Sattvaya is significant. In the material world, there are three qualities, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance. One has to be raised from the platform of ignorance to the platform of goodness by devotional service. There is no other means for elevating one from the lowest stage of life to the highest stage but the execution of devotional service, as advised in the previous chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam. One can raise himself from the lowest position to the highest simply by associating with devotees and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam regularly from their mouths. Shrinvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridi Antastohi Abhadrani Vidunoti Sruhit Satam. When one engages in devotional service, in the first stages of hearing and chanting, the Lord, who is in everyone's heart, helps the devotee in cleansing his heart. Bhagavatam 1-17. So this is how we can actually have the deep cleaning which is needed in our heart by hearing Bhagavatam in the association of devotees, by hearing, by chanting. Krishna, who is in our heart, he helps us clean our heart. That is permanent cleaning. You know, our cleaning and Krishna's cleaning is different. We may artificially try to hold our desires artificially with some mental situation, try to control ourselves, but the desires will remain. But when Krishna cleans, he really cleans. So in the gradual cleansing process, one is relieved of the influence of passion and ignorance and is situated on the platform of goodness. The result of association with the qualities of passion and ignorance is that one becomes lusty and greedy. But when one is elevated to the platform of goodness, he is satisfied in any condition of life and is without lust and greed. This mentality indicates one situation on the platform of goodness. So what are we hearing? What is the result of our passion and ignorance? What do we get? Lusty and greedy. Because of the modes of passion and ignorance, we become lusty and greedy.
Sorry,
And in
I
the
was on
mode
mute.
of
We become greedy and lusty.
oh, that's okay. Thank you. Thank you. And on the
Sorry.
platform of goodness, what is no, that's all right. What's the symptom of the platform of goodness?
they become like on the sattva, they are not greedy and lusty, and they are devotees, like they have Krishna consciousness.
Well, not necessarily.
And they are satisfied in any condition.
Yeah.
They are satisfied in any condition. They are not lusty and not greedy.
Yeah. And then now coming to the mode of goodness, one still has to go further. One has to transcend this goodness and raise himself to the pure goodness called Vivriddha Sattva, or the advanced stage of goodness. In the advanced stage of goodness, one can become Krishna conscious. See, so in the material mode of goodness, one is not yet Krishna conscious, but in pure goodness, because pure goodness is on the liberated platform, is beyond the ordinary goodness, then one can become Krishna conscious. So all this is happening by devotional service, hearing and chanting. Continue to hearing and chant, hear and chant. Gradually, the cleaning, Krishna cleans our heart. So therefore, Pṛthu Maharaj is addressed here as Vivriddha Sattva, or one who is situated in the transcendental position. But Maharaj Pṛthu, although situated in the transcendental position of a pure devotee, came down to the position of a Brahmana and Kshatriya for the benefit of human society, and thus give protection to the entire world by his personal prowess. Although he was a king, a Kshatriya, because he was a Vaishnava, he was also a Brahmana. As a Brahmana, he could give proper instruction to the citizens. And as a Kshatriya, he could rightly give protection to all of them. Thus, the citizens of Pṛthu Maharaj were protected in all respects by the perfect king. So why is he being called a Brahmana and a Kshatriya?
He's being called Brahmana because he was a Vaishnava. So being a Vaishnava,
Yeah.
you automatically become a Brahmin.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And
that's right.
And he was Kshatriya because he was giving the protection to his citizens.
That's right. And yes, thank you. And as a Brahmana, he was giving them proper instructions. So many instructions. He told them that do your duties for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. He gave them this proper instructions which are needed for advancing in spiritual life. And as a king, he's protecting the material life. They're making sure they are protected, they are peaceful. So both, he's giving them both material and spiritual protection. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 4th canto, 21st chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Instructions by Mahārāja Pṛthu.
So this shows that also the citizens were also very, very intelligent, and they were also God conscious, because in one simple instructions they themselves understood, and then they are replying. So they were also very, very at high level. They were liberated already, right?
I don't know if they were liberated or no, but as you rightly pointed out, that they're very intelligent.
I think we read that the Praja was liberated, no?
I'm not sure of that, but sure, as you pointed out, that they are intelligent, that they are able to understand Pṛthu Maharaj's instructions. They're able to follow his instructions. They are able to understand the importance of his instructions. That, yes, very good point. It's a very good observation. So they're highly intelligent. Yes. So we'll stop here for today. Thank you so much for listening and enjoying. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Hare Krishna.